a buddy of mine told me they're going to start shooting Vietnam War films over in the Philippines. So first of all, I went to Okinawa, Japan. Had a couple of bars over there, migrated on over to the Philippines when they started, just before they started doing the movies, the shows. Then got there just in time to do Apocalypse Now, Boys and Company C, Purple Heart, Siege of Firebase Glory. I did a bunch of them, so it just worked out pretty good. Of course, I'd start out as a technical advisor and work my way into a role. Every film I ever did technical advice on, I did a role on. When Stanley Kubrick called me and he was looking for a technical advisor, I was willing to go over there knowing that I would be able to get my foot in the door, and with my the way that I operate, I would end up with a role in that show. And the role that I wanted was that of Gunnery Sergeant Hartman. By the time we were about 10 years old, we were starting to deer hunt now. So we had to have a high-powered rifle. So 30-30, Winchester 30-30, and off me and the boys would go. We'd go deer hunting. And we'd never had a license. Hell, back in the old days, you didn't need a license. What the heck do you need a license for? We were hunting on our own property. We felt that anything that was on our property belonged to us, and that was the American way. By golly, it still should be like that, but it's not. Of course, just because you own that property doesn't mean you own anything that's on that property or under that property. So our freedoms are slowly, gradually being taken away from us. But back in those days, 11, 12-year-old kid go out deer hunting. He never had to have a deer tag or any of that ridiculous stuff. We never went to town. How could we ever buy a deer tag? Glock is, as far as I'm concerned, the best #1 handgun out there. I have still, to this day, and I shoot thousands of rounds, I have still to this day never had a malfunction with a Glock. Now, I've got one Glock in there. I've got my .45 Gap. Now, I took that out of the box. I got a bunch of ammo. I've had that gun. That was one of the first ones that I got. And I think I've had that gun now for over 10, 12 years. I put several thousand rounds through that gun, and I've never cleaned it. And I profess that I am not going to clean that gun. I want to see how long it'll go on the treadmill before the engine breaks. That's the way I look at it. And so that's my test gun. But it still shoots just as good, and I'm just as accurate as the day I first took it out of the box. It's a marvelous piece of engineering. It's just phenomenal. The gun is a marvelous. That handgun is fantastic.